One thing that I've learned through this healing journey slash transformation of mine is that specifically going through shame and realizing that I denied myself with not only being emotional, but also just vulnerably me. Allowing myself to exist in my magic. And I'm still working through this. It is not easy, this journey, this transformation, this what it means to truly be your authentic self is not. It is the most beautiful, pure, loving, soul nurturing thing you can do is sit in your bullshit. Sit in this, in all the ways you didn't choose yourself, and still love yourself, still find hope, still be hopeful that all that you sacrificed, all that I've sacrificed is worth it. All the ways how being a black sheep, being rejected and denied of who I truly am and conditioned in this way, that going against the norms and being denied emotionally and still just like loving myself when everything outside of me, literally, I have learned that this is why I've cut everyone out of my life, including my family, is that all these people in my life have only valued me when I gave away my power, when I hid who I truly was, rejected myself, and forgot about it, forgot about these parts that I rejected and never was taught that it was even okay to be emotional, to growing up, the emotions that were okay, everything is fine, but it's really not, and anger to the point where anger was allowed when you can't absolutely hold it in anymore. And I was only cared for and nurtured truly and authentically was when something dastardly happened or I was sick or injured. The rest was push through, toughen up, and everything will be okay. That was the okay emotions to have. And if you are relating to this, you are denying yourself emotions, and that is not normal, and that you do not need to limit yourself. I didn't even know I had a really wild realization of what fear was and how often I was experiencing it, to the point where I had an experience that caused me to just have panic attacks. And because it had reached a point where I had denied and rejected my emotions so much that I didn't even know what fear was till I was like, I had glimpses, but I didn't realize what fear was. The emotion of fear was anxiety until I was like 24, which is wild. Like, and now, like, if fear comes up, it's something that I'm just like, okay, what am I fearful about? And it's okay to be fearful. But I don't know, I'm just ranting, but and sadness was just, for me, was kind of always there. But I didn't know how to. I was taught, and this is so, there's so much shame involved in this, but conditioned shame, generational shame, just heavy sadness and shame, that these parts just weren't okay to have, these emotions weren't okay to have, and that I didn't even know that I was conditioned and taught that to give away my power, to not be emotional, to not make mistakes. And if I did make mistakes, I was in trouble, yelled at, or judged, which just led to more shame. And then insecurity as well, of these emotions. So the only thing that was allowed was literally just like rejecting and abandoning myself most of my life. And the past couple years is what my healing journey has been. And you are only loved through the meeting other people's expectations, giving away your power, and giving away to empty vessels, and external achievements and societal expectations. And I knew deep down that that was never, as a black sheep and a generational curse breaker, that it always felt purposeless. It always felt, I could always just read and see through people's stuff. And I also just, I didn't know what it was. I could just, like, even with college, I was just like, this is so pointless. I don't even know what I fully want to do because I've been denied my whole life of what it truly means to be me. So why am I going to go pay all this money and go to school and learn all this stuff about something that I'm not even sure what I want to do because I'm not being who I truly am? So I acted on what I thought was truly me. And that led me to this point, a long, interesting journey of remembering what it means to feel and allowing these emotions that I rejected and was taught to reject and forgotten about for my whole life, of unworthiness. And even through all of this, of just going down a path that is not normalized whatsoever, of just healing and meditating. Switching sides. Plus, I just talked for 10 minutes. But of taking this path that is the complete polarity of what is normalized. Of every day I'm just processing trauma and energy and grief, guilt, shame, insecurity, inadequacy, and it's fucking heavy. It's heavy to work through so much pain and sadness and anger. It's impressive how much, for me personally, how much I've denied myself. And I also know that this life I chose to experience and all my challenges I'm literally creating for myself, which is such a paradox and hilarious, but in the best way. But it's a fucking journey of, man, how can I vulnerably bring this out more for me? It's deep and it's dark, but it's also beautiful and loving. The parts of me that I've healed, I know, I've been confirmed this, that no one in my past lives, has reached this point. And I also know that all the emotional weight that I've moved is wildly, and I probably can't even comprehend it, honestly. I can't properly describe it, the weight and the beauty of moving that weight. And in my journey right now, the uncertainty, but also the absolute clarity and perfection that is here. It's the most wildest contrasting thing. I'm at this point where I've healed so much that I'm like having a midnight of the soul or whatever. Like, I'm having ego deaths like at least once a week. Emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual ego deaths like once a week. And it's not a flex, it's just like it's just a fucking journey. And it can be lonely. It can be painful. It can be sad. It is. That's because that's what you're doing. That's what I'm doing, is just moving, sitting in layers and layers of deep, deep shit. Deep, deep weight, deep webs, deep strings, deep chains, deep swords that haven't been touched. And it's hard. But I still try every single day. I still try every single day to be a better version of me. Try every single day to move this weight. Move this stuck energy, this untouched darkness that's ultimately light. These parts of me that deserve to be loved, deserve to be vulnerable, deserve to be pure. That deserve to be authentically innocent. That I've rejected. It's not just like it's happened to me. It's a two-way street. because the me that was rejected and denied, that's not happening. That's not the experience that's going on now, right? Like, my conditioning of my childhood isn't happening right now, but I'm still holding on to this emotional weight, this belief. You're still telling the story of rejection and abandonment and hiding, whatever, some shame of being emotional, which is fucking wild. And what's hilarious is I've come so far, and I still get pissed off at myself. I still get angry. And ultimately, this is a negative belief that's not authentic to me, that's weight that I'm carrying, that I have to be this perfect healed version of me, or this, I have to reach this certain place to allow myself to be me, to allow myself to be loved. And it's not my truth. And it's ultimately conditioning from my childhood of that once I am this me, once that I will be approved of, which is shame. And it's annoying because I know what it is. And there's still these like hidden parts that are tucked away because I didn't feel safe, or I was told no to be this creative me, this emotional me, this angry me, this me that values me. To allow me to have my needs, my desires, to speak up and express my desires, to emotionally connect with my desires and my needs and my valuing me, to the point where until recently have I like realized I'm worthy of valuing me and not abandoning me and loving me for who I am. Confirmation on that. Loving me for who I am. I was thinking earlier while I was doing my wind down before bed, the stretching, is that there's no reason not to love all of you, but there are still parts of me that I do not love about me. And what's like wild is that there are parts that, I've said that a lot, but there are parts of me that I don't even know that I've hidden out of survival and safety that are unloved. But I know once I do, that it's like, yay, it's exciting and awesome. But right now I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm annoyed because I don't know what these parts are. Or I do, and I'm just fearful to love them. Or too sad. Or so angry at myself for not loving myself. Alright. If you've made it this far, thanks. Take the time to love your own parts. Yeah. And know that, like what I said about you don't need to be perfect. For me personally, speaking myself, you don't need to be perfect because you're perfect exactly where you are. And I know there's so much goodness, there's so much light and love, and there's no reason to be so hard on myself. Can you tell I've got a Virgo in my chart? uh, uh, yeah. Forgiveness and unconditional love. I feel like, yeah. I don't really know what else to say. I'm just kind of being vulnerable and expressing where I'm at. And that it is just where it is, where I am. It is what it is. And that it's okay to be where you're at and where I'm at. Because to get to where you want to go, you have to accept where you are now. Because you can't skip now. You're only ever in the now. And that even though I have all of this going on, I still know to love myself, and that it's okay to have all of this. That I've reached this point that I'm able to hold all of this, to open up to all of this, to shine in all of this light and darkness, and know that the darkness is just more light. And that's what it's always been. So take care of yourself and be kind. Whew, man, I've opened up. I've had many points of contrast of light, and always behind the darknesses is when you take the time to take care of yourself and do what's best for you and choose yourself and allow yourself to express yourself or create and act on your purpose and your light. You always end up shining in your light, in your truth, and that the weight dissolves because you stop denying yourself. Yeah. I keep on wrapping it up and then talking more.